guys, what's going on? Back with another video. How's everybody doing? It's back! It's back, folks. We're back. Football's back. It's finally back. It's been a long off season, as it so often is every year, but football is finally back. And you know what that means? It means we're going to be doing our weekly picks. I actually would have, to be completely honest with you, I actually forgot that I did this every season, the last 3 seasons. Everybody, a ton of people sent me messages asking me if I was going to be doing it again this season. That's how I remembered, so thank you to those people. And thank you for your interest. Thanks for reminding me, so I totally appreciate that. And so we're gonna be doing our picks for this season, the 2019 season. This will be the 4th season that I've done these videos, so thank you everybody for tuning in. Welcome aboard, welcome back. Football's back. We're back in business. It's good to be back. So we're gonna be doing the 2019 season, starting with Week 1. Going through and giving our picks. So I give my picks for each game of the week, and then in the video I show what I think will be the game of the week using Madden. So this is Madden 19. We've got a new version of Madden for the new NFL season. Madden 19, I want to turn this into like a Madden rant, so we'll just talk about it briefly. I mean, yeah, everybody says it's the same thing every year. Yeah, okay, fine, it is. But I don't know, like I care enough about football and I enjoy it so much that whatever. Fine, here, take the $60 and what you know what I mean? I just enjoy it so much that, you know, if it was something else, then I'd complain. But I mean, I just, you know, they got me hooked on football. Like I can't, you know, it's a, you know, I'm hooked. What can I say? So I got Madden 19. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it kind of is, and all those criticisms are valid. I don't really get on the Madden's the same thing bandwagon, only because, yeah, what's it supposed to be? It's like it's the same. It's the same thing. Like football is the same. Like the size of the field. Like the play, like what is it you want them to change? Like everything's the same. What are they really? What are they supposed to change? You know what I mean? So there's that. But then the other problem is, so like there's 2 problems that I have with Madden that in every version of Madden ever made, except for like the really old ones, they've never fixed. Like every version of Madden has the same 2 glitches, you know, sort of glitches / problems, and they never fix it. The first one, and this just happened to me. Very recently, I was playing actually no, I think it was my first game of Madden 19. Like I just opened it up, put it in the console. I was playing Madden 19. It happened in my first online game. There's a glitch. It's been in every version of Madden as long as I can remember. If you get an interception, right? So you gotta think about it. In Madden, when you get an interception, like the game kind of like it stops, and then like the camera does like that 180-degree turn thing, and you start going the other way. Now, instinctively, you know, you get a pick. You're like, you know, I got a pick, gotta go. You know, try to get a pick 6, gotta, you know, try to get some field position, whatever. You know, you put your thumb down on the left thumbstick. You put it, you know, you put the left thumbstick forwards to run. The glitch is Madden. You know, a lot of the time, if you like, it takes it a few seconds for Madden to figure out which direction's forwards, because like, you know, when the camera does the 180 thing, then all of a sudden, you know, now forwards is like the other direction. So like when you know, press the thumbstick to go forwards, like sometimes when it changes, like it'll have you running backwards, which is really annoying. And that's every version of Madden I can remember has always had that problem. The other thing, and I don't know, maybe it was I don't play it in 4K with HDR, because I'm not buying an Xbox One X because the new one's coming out next year. I don't think that would make it any better. I think that would just be like the resolution. It wouldn't really affect like the animation. But the players are kind of like, it's like uncanny valley, clunky kind of, like especially like the cutscenes when they run out on the field. It's like, it's just something's off there. It's just kind of clunky and weird looking. You know what I mean? It's almost like, another way to put it is, it's almost like the frame rate of their movement is too. It's like not smooth. You know what I mean? Like there's something. I don't know. It's kind of lacking in the realism. What can I say? Anyways, I don't care because I'm a total sucker for football. They got me. I'll admit it. So we got the new version of Madden, Madden 19 for the new NFL season 2019, and we are back, and it is good to be back doing our picks. Like I was saying, I would have totally forgot about this series if people didn't remind me. I forgot I even did this the last 3 years, so thank you to everybody for, you know, your comments, any messages. asking if I was going to do this. Appreciate it. It's good to know somebody likes watching these. I'm going to try to be a little concise this season because like some of these videos are like 50 minutes long, so I got to be a little bit careful about that. And let's get the show on the road. So week one, of course, for opening night tonight, Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. So normally week one of the NFL season, the NFL kickoff is hosted by whoever won the Super Bowl. So normally the Patriots, New England Patriots, would host the first game of the season. New England Patriots host the first game of the season like every season, but except last season because they lost. But so this year, because it's the 100th anniversary of the NFL, they're going with a historical matchup tonight. The Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears, the league's two most historical teams. So the other thing too, it's kind of tough to make predictions in week one because you really don't have anything to go off of other than major things that happen in the offseason. Like the preseason, other than like the first half of the third preseason game, the preseason doesn't really tell you anything. And even then, it's like, what are you going to deduce from the one half of football? I mean, really not a whole lot. So what are you going to do? So, we're just going to use our best judgment here. Green Bay Packers at Chicago Bears. So as far as Green Bay is concerned, this is their first, full season with a new head coach, Mike McCarthy. Let go, I think towards the end of last season. So now they got some new leadership in there. They really needed it. Aaron Rodgers is up there with like Roethlisberger and like Andrew Luck, who retired. Like just really talented players that should have won more than they did. So maybe things are going to change for Green Bay this season. I don't think so. I think that it's like far because that team's had like mental coaching. That's kind of been their issue the last few seasons, and Aaron Rodgers is kind of a he's got some things going on with him, or he has the last few years on the off the field, just kind of the drama. I don't really know what you call that. Just they haven't been right. They haven't gotten right there. I think they're going to improve this season, but I just don't see them. I don't think they have a talent to really do something this year. It's too bad. Chicago Bears, on the other hand, first of all, I got the Chicago Bears winning this game. Chicago Bears, great defense. I don't think their defense is going to play as well as it did last season because their defense was playing downright out of its mind for stretches of last season, which is kind of teams can get on a roll, and then like the next season it's kind of hard to replicate that. But nonetheless, they really had something going until they. So you gotta remember, the last football the Chicago Bears play was missing a kick against Philadelphia in the playoffs, which I think I watched that game from the bathroom on a cruise ship. I was on a cruise ship in the bathroom in my room, and I had like the door cracked open and was watching it on the TV when he missed the kick. Well, you didn't need to know, whatever. But. Anyway, so that's that. So yeah, I got the Bears. I got the Bears winning this game. The defense should build upon what they were doing last year, and then at the same time, they were on a roll there, and I think the way things ended last season, that doesn't, you don't forget that very easily. So I got the Bears winning this game. I just think they're a much more complete team than the Packers. So that was tonight, Thursday night. Going to Sunday, 1 o'clock window, the Rams at the Panthers. Not really much to talk about here. I got the Rams winning this game. It's in. The only thing to talk about is the Rams have to go from the West Coast to the East Coast to play the game. That always screws up teams from the West Coast. It's like invariably screws up teams from the West Coast because it just does. So, they factor that in, but at the same time, the Rams got a heck of a lot more talent than the Panthers do. And this is another case, kind of like the Bears. The Rams have to remember how last season ended. One of the most high-flying, powerful, scoring offenses in the NFL gets held to 3 points by the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So you got to think they have an axe to grind. They got talent up and down the roster. Their defense, held the Patriots to 13 in the Super Bowl. Which that's the thing that's interesting, is defense wasn't really the strength of the Rams last year at all. Because you got to remember, the Rams were going into games 54, 51, 48, 46, these really high-scoring games. They only really got their defense together, like, you know, kind of like come playoff time against, you know, the Saints, and then in the Super Bowl with Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator, of course. You know, so I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last season. I know people are really high on the Rams. Like, there aren't many teams other than, like, I don't want to say the Patriots, because, like, it's... Yeah, the Patriots are the only team I can think of that, like, lose the Super Bowl and then come back the next year and win, or really good. Like, most of the time, teams that win the Super Bowl just don't even make the playoffs the next year. I mean, it's a little strong, but it's really, really tough to repeat. You know, teams just don't do it, and so I think the Rams are. Everybody's like, yeah, Rams gonna win the Super Bowl, and go 14. No, they're not. All right, they're gonna go. The Los Angeles Rams, I think, are gonna go like. They're gonna go up for maybe like 11-5 or something like that. You know, I think they're gonna lose to the Saints in the NFC Championship game. I'm gonna call it right now. It's pretty aggressive. We're calling it before Week 1 even starts. But yeah, no, I think they got more than enough to beat this Panthers team. Cam Newton's soft. I'm just gonna come out and admit that. I mean, ever since Super Bowl 50, when he doesn't dive on the fumble in the Super Bowl, I don't think I've picked the Panthers once, except for like when they played the Browns 2 years ago, like something like, you know what I mean? Speaking of the Browns, so I got the Rams. Speaking of the Browns, and next game up, Tennessee Titans at the Cleveland Browns. Sneaky good game right here. Cleveland Browns, probably the most hyped team this year, team everybody's excited to see, of course, because they've been garbage forever. Now all of a sudden they go out, they load up. They got, you know, just talent all over the place. Because you got to remember 2 seasons ago, you know, the Browns were, you know, they were 0-16, and so now the offseason they had, you know, really promising looking quarterback in Baker Mayfield. They go out, they go get Odell Beckham Jr. They signed Kareem Hunt. You can kind of debate that a little bit there. You know, they got, you know, running back Nick Chubb, defensive end Myles Garrett. You know, they've got talent. There is talent on that team. You know, at the late last season, they really started showing you something, and now they went out, they loaded up. I'm not a huge fan of Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. is like different Antonio Brown. It's just he's diva outside wide receiver. You know, we're gonna take the top off the field. You know, these Randy Moss type. Let me tell you, Randy Moss is a legit Hall of Famer. So excuse me for even criticizing Randy Moss. Okay, Randy Moss is a baller. He's in the Hall of Fame, and nobody ever did what Randy Moss could do. So let me take that back. But Randy Moss did have an attitude problem, okay, with Dallas and then with Minnesota, and then he went to the Patriots, and he left. And you get the idea. He wasn't. You get the idea. All right, he was mad that Dallas didn't take him, and the whole. Anyways, so like. These guys like Odell Beckham and Antonio Brown have like some, or in some cases a good amount of the talent, but then like all of the attitude, and then that they just short circuit. Like look at we're gonna get to Antonio Brown when we get to the Raiders, which is it's one of these games. We'll get there. You know, it just I have the schedule in front of me. But you get these diva receivers. You gotta. It's a risky investment. You know, so we'll see. But I think good things are in store for the Browns. The Tennessee Titans, on the other hand, they bring in Mike Vrabel as a coach, and they show you things like in flashes last season. Like they had some pretty. I mean, they had some bad games, but they had some pretty good, strong performances last season. I think Vrabel has really made the difference in Tennessee. I was kind of surprised they brought him in because in 2017 they made the playoffs, even though they kind of. You know, they ended up losing to the Chiefs in that game. You know, surprised like you make the playoffs and you get rid of the coach. Like that's kind of a, I don't know. Like I don't know, but you know, it seems like Vrabel has breathed a new air into that team. You know, they were showing you things last season. However, I think that, and you know, to be completely honest with you, this is probably one of the more exciting games on the schedule. It's still, you know, I mean. I don't know. It's tough to say because, like, on the one hand, the Browns are highly, you know, hyped, but you know they don't really have, you know, any. Like, there's, you know, you're basically just buying the hype if you're in on the Browns, because we really don't have anything to go off of here with them. Tennessee, on the other hand, I just feel like they were really rounding out into a sound football team last season, but I think Week 1. I gotta go with the Browns. I gotta go with the Browns. They're gonna turn a new leaf this year. Next game up, Kansas City Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs right off the bat. Jacksonville, really great year in 2017. Really great defense. Saxonville, that whole thing. They couldn't keep it together last season. The Chiefs, this is in Jacksonville. Well, you know what? Matter of fact, so early in the season when it's really, like early September when it's still really hot in most places. It's really hot in the whole country, but teams that have to go to like Jacksonville or Miami or something when it's just like friggin' 100 degrees out, Dallas or whatever, we're in a dome now, or like Arizona or something like that. Like those teams usually lose. Like for instance, like every year, usually like every year, things like West Coast teams going to the East Coast. Cold weather teams go. Like how many years now have the Patriots lost in Miami? Like there's something about like the weather, that can throw teams off. I still got Kansas City is just such a strong team. I got them winning this game, but I don't think they're going to put up a lot of points. I think they're going to struggle. I really do. I think it's going to take them a while to catch their footing here. I think Kansas City's going to win this one like 24-16, something like that. Yeah, there you go. I got Kansas City winning this game. Next game up, Baltimore Ravens at Miami. I'm not wasting any time on this. Baltimore Ravens, Miami Dolphins are tanking for the draft. Everybody knows it. Give me Baltimore winning this game. Next game up, Atlanta Falcons, Minnesota Vikings. This is a tough one. It's like a battle of two has-been teams here. The Vikings, 2 years. What? The trend I'm noticing here is there are a lot of teams that were really good 2 years ago that kind of suck now. The Falcons are another one. That was 3 years ago, but yeah. So Falcons, Vikings. I got the Falcons winning this game. Certain games I'm not gonna waste so much time on. The Falcons, kind of disappointed. Where they've been the last couple of years. I think they turn it around. I think they turn it around this season. I got the Falcons winning this game. Next game, we have Buffalo Bills, New York Jets. Let's not waste any time here. I got the New York Jets. New York Jets. I don't want to say that it's it's promising this year. Yeah, they did get they did make some moves, but at the same time, it's the friggin' New York Jets. Like, come on. I got the Jets winning. They can. The Jets can beat the Buffalo Bills. All right, I got the Jets winning this game. Next game up, while my phone loads. Come on. All right. Next game up, Washington Redskins and Philadelphia Eagles. I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning this game. People are really high on the Eagles this season, and I'm not. Not necessarily that I think they're going to be bad, but you've got, sport has to do with, people in sports now have these flamethrower opinions. Like, yeah, I think it's going to be the friggin' Browns, and I think it's going to be, like the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and they're going to be undefeated. Like these ridiculous, ESPN, but these ridiculous opinions that you see. Eagles, the Eagles should go deep in the playoffs this year, but I don't know. I just don't see it. It's tough. So, 2017, 2018 season, they won the Super Bowl. 2018, 2019 season, they lose in the divisional round? Yeah, the divisional round. And then this year, we're going to have to see what happens. But I feel like they'll start off strong, and then, as always happens with these teams, there'll be like some kind of injury, and then they'll just kind of go sideways and kind of end up like they did last year. I'm not super high on the Eagles, but, could be wrong. Then again, we haven't even seen week 1 yet, so we don't have a lot to go off of here. Next game, oh my god. Indianapolis Colts and the San Diego/Los Angeles Chargers. I'm still calling them the San Diego Chargers. It's ridiculous. Los Angeles Chargers, ridiculous. So Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck just abruptly retired. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to blast Andrew Luck like a lot of people do. Like, you can't. Most people haven't played. I've played football. Of course, I haven't played professional football, but you haven't know when you're like sitting there like that. One of my favorite things is like in November, early December. Like you watch those games like where there's like snow or something like that. Be in your house, you take a shower, you get like fireplace, a snack, all cozy, and it's like freezing out. if you live in a cold weather place and you just put on a game and it's snowing and that's just you can smell like the people's fireplaces in the air, it's like stuff like that. Like that's like late autumn football, like just nostalgia at its best right there. And one of the things, for football fans who, given the fact that that's, you're sitting on your couch in your living room with your jammies on watching these games, you don't really appreciate how friggin' brutal it is. I mean, people just really don't understand. Like, if I guess like if you watch like film, I don't mean like film like coaches watch, but if you watch like, if you just carefully watch an NFL game, maybe like with no sound on or something, there's like really carefully watch this, or like an overhead angle. Like when they show you like overhead angles, really show it like in real time, full speed. When it's 2 degrees out, these guys trucking into each other, 300 pounds each. I mean, everything we know about concussions now, it really takes a toll on your body. And Andrew Luck's had this surgery and that surgery and this surgery and he's just never been right. I mean, you saw Rob Gronkowski retire from New England in the offseason. I mean, that guy's had backs and necks and ACLs and elbow. Like that guy's friggin' like Frankenstein. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. Just like all the work this guy's had done. It's like, it gets to the point where, your health and everything, you just, sometimes you got to walk away. I mean, when he did it, yeah, you can kind of debate that, but, I guess it is what it is. So now the Indianapolis Colts are going to turn to Jacoby Brissett, who came to them in 2017 via trade from New England. He was a first-round rookie. He played, he's played for them in fits and starts here and there. Fairly decent quarterback, kind of more of like a, I don't know if I could call him a starter, but, we'll see what he shows us this season. We'll see what he's got. The Colts were a team I was high on. I mean, I still had my reservations about them just because, like, 2014 was the last year they put it all together and made a run and got to the AFC Championship. I mean, like, every season since then, if it wasn't Andrew Luck's injury, it was just, they just couldn't keep it all together, and it seemed like this season they finally had a chance to do that, and Andrew Luck, hangs it up, and, it is what it is. So now they got Brissett. I mean, obviously Andrew Luck had just tremendous talent, but he just couldn't stay on the field. Then, of course, they'll be playing the Chargers. It's going to be on the West Coast. I mean, you got an East Coast team going to the West Coast. Not as bad as vice versa. But, oh, man, this is a tough one. I actually have the Colts winning this game because the Chargers. So the Chargers, they go up to New England last year in the AFC divisional round, and they just got destroyed. They got like blown out like 35-0 in the first half, or like something crazy. I don't exactly remember. And then I felt like they did more. They accomplished more than they should have last year. Now there's no more Antonio Gates. And it's just, I don't see them reaching the heights the way they did last season. I just don't see it happening again. And, the Colts, everybody's counting them out now, thinks they're done. I feel like Jacoby Brissett, he's a young quarterback, good with his feet. People are counting them out. That's the kind of game you can win. So I got the Colts winning this game. Next game up, Cincinnati Bengals at Seattle. Going to be Seattle. Cincinnati, other than for the first half of 2015, has Cincinnati ever been not just? I feel like, okay, I've been doing these videos for 4 years now, okay, for 4 seasons, and every game that Cincinnati's like, oh yeah, they say whoever they're playing is like, oh yeah, give me them, and then we move on. Like I've never had a long soliloquy about these Cincinnati Bengals because they've been friggin' irrelevant for I don't know how long now. By the way, the other thing I don't understand, how on God's green earth did what's his name? What's the guy's name? Oh man. What's his name? Okay, we're gonna sit here until I remember. The coach. What was the coach's name? Oh man. The guy I'm talking. The guy I'm talking about, right? Marvin Lewis. How did Marvin Lewis last that freaking long on that team? He finally got canned. They got Zach Taylor now. I don't know why. You know, I couldn't remember Marvin Lewis because I got him mixed up with like 30 other mediocre coaches that I couldn't, you know, like sitting over here thinking about like mixing up with the guy from the Broncos a few years ago, whatever his name was, having the time of his life. You know that guy? Whatever. Anyways, too many windows open for the computer. Yeah, so I got Seattle. Pretty much everybody except like maybe the Dolphins this season. I'm gonna have for Cincinnati, unless maybe they turn around decades of suck and they really show us something this season. Then we'll reevaluate. But look, there are certain teams in the NFL. Like this is my short list of irrelevant teams: the Cincinnati Bengals, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, kind of the New York Jets, the Tennessee Titans, sort of. And maybe that's it. Just teams that, in large parts, have just been like, oh yeah, that's on. Like, you're the kind of team that makes you want to buy NFL Sunday tickets so you can watch a different game. By the way, this is not sponsored or anything. I actually bought NFL Sunday ticket this year because I can't stand being stuck with games like that. So now I can put on whatever I want. Anyways, I got Seattle in this game. Just to talk about Seattle briefly, Seattle's a team that, you know, if Seattle had a different coach or a different quarterback, more like the coach, I think, but maybe Russell Wilson's not too shabby. If that was any other team, they would have sucked the last few years. Like the way they lost Super Bowl 49 and 2015, they couldn't get Marshawn Lynch right, and everything just kind of spiraled out of control from there. Like any other team would have been like 5-11 in the similar circumstances over the last few years. But Seattle, I think just because, you know, Pete Carroll's, I think he's a really good coach, and Russell Wilson's a sound quarterback for them. Like, they've been able to, you know, kind of tread water, if you will. Like, they've been able to be competitive, and I feel like this season, yeah, I feel like they could be making another run this season. You got to remember, like, you know, 2012, 13, 14, you know, they had that run there, and they, you know, other than, like, the Patriots, there's no other team in the NFL that's consistently held it together. Like, you know, it's up and down, you know, it's a league that's built for parity, unlike the NBA, which I can barely watch. You know, so it's you know, they've, you know, I think they're the only other team, like maybe the Steelers, but then, I mean, we're gonna get to Antonio Brown in a minute, so I'm gonna bite my tongue. You know, one of the few teams that's been able to kind of keep it mostly together over a period of time, and I think they could shine this season, but we'll see. I got Seattle win this game. Next game, oh god, Detroit Lions, Arizona Cardinals. I mean, I get Detroit just because Arizona's like, I mean, come on. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. Just come on, like Arizona, the Arizona Cardinals without like the whole. I mean, they were in the NFC Championship game against, what was it, like was it Seattle? Who did they play where it was like the devastating loss a few years ago in the NFC Championship game? That was the end of that team. So didn't really do anything super exciting in the offseason. I mean, yeah, I got Detroit winning this game. Detroit's going to be interesting this year. This is Matt Patricia's second season as head coach of the Lions. Couldn't probably go worse than it did last year. But yeah, I feel like they're gonna pull it together this year. Next game up, the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, is there? I'm surprised this is not. I'm surprised this isn't the Sunday night game. You know the NFL, like, if the Bears and the Packers, because if this wasn't the 100th season, the Bears and the Packers weren't week 1, and then the Patriots-Steelers game was week 1. Or I'm sorry. Let me back up. If this wasn't the NFL's 100th season and they didn't have Packers-Bears scheduled for tonight, like the opening game, NFL kickoff, and the Patriots, the Super Bowl winning team, the Patriots and the Steelers were tonight, you know they were making the Giants and the Cowboys Sunday. Like that's like you ever watch? I mean, I never watched it, but I'm a real all the nostalgia. I'll take all your nostalgia. Back in the day, like there was like what did we watch? It was like Doug, Rocko's Modern Life, Angry Beavers, like SpongeBob, and then like Disney. There were like these certain shows, and there was what was that show? Like Powerpuff Girls. Like I didn't watch this. I just like remember the intro because it would come on and be like oh sugar, spice, what like all the ingredients, and then that made the Powerpuff Girls or whatever the hell it is. Okay, the ingredients for like ESPN First Take are the New York Giants, the Dallas Cowboys, sprinkled in with like LeBron James, Antonio Brown, and then some UFC fight. Like that's like ESPN First Take's whole schedule for this. Like it's just a cycle of talking about those same topics in no particular order. Like this, no mashup engages upon like the drama and you know what I mean. Like there's those certain lines, you know, of just drama and nonsense in the NFL, like the Giants, the Cowboys, or you know, in the NBA it's LeBron, or baseball there's no drama because nobody's watching that, unfortunately. Same thing with hockey. Like, you know, it's I don't know, it's kind of nauseating the way that, like, for instance, like if I go on ESPN.com, I guarantee you, first of all, I'm gonna go on right now. I guarantee there's going to be, like, the first thing will probably be Antonio Brown freaking out, and then there's going to be, like, I was on there the other day, and there was, like, a whole heading, it says, like, the Dallas Cowboys, like, it's, you know, as if, like, I added that as one of my teams, and I didn't, but, like, it's like they're so fixated upon the drama. So I'll click, so let me, alright, I'm going here, ESPN, and there it is, Antonio Brown, big box right here. Let's scroll down a little bit, got some UFC, just like I friggin' said. Some tennis player. And then there it is. Look at well, you can't see it, but then there it is. There's a big bid to the Cowboys. Like that's drama fixation. Bunch of drama queens over there. All right. Well, anyways, you know what I'm talking about. The Giants. Everybody's got to, you know, those are the big market teams. So, you know, it kind of explains itsells. But you know, it's just annoying that they have to. I don't know. I can't stand that. Sports media. Anyway, so the Giants and the Cowboys. They got the Cowboys winning this game. They got Ezekiel Elliott, who he's like, if your running back is your best player, then you suck because you're not. What are you gonna win? All right, what are you gonna win if you want to go to the playoffs? What are you gonna do in the playoffs? Like, say you're in the NFC, right? So what are you gonna do if you're in New Orleans in the NFC Championship game? The place is loud and out of its mind. It's 3rd and 11, and you gotta have it. You're going to hand the ball off to Ezekiel Elliott and you got 11? No, you're going to have to... Dak Prescott's going to have to stand there and make big boy throws. Into who? Who's he throwing to? How is he... Like, have you seen... Other than, like a stretch in 2016, nope, not buying in on the Cowboys. Although, they're a hell of a lot better than the New York Giants, who are probably the worst team in the league this year. Just completely... lost. They you know, they're a full-blown rebuild here. Good chance this is Eli Manning's last year. Probably is. So, you know, heck of a way for it all to end. I got the Cowboys in this game. It's in Dallas. Not that really matters, but way more talent on this team than I don't want to say way more talent. It's just the Giants suck and the Cowboys don't. So I got the Cowboys win this game. And next game up, the San Francisco 49ers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, well, let's put it this way. Jimmy Garoppolo, of course, big news, I believe it was 2 years ago, was traded to San Francisco. Didn't really play, kind of learned the system, and he played the last 2 games and was, you know, performed really well. You know, and then last season he tears his ACL, misses the whole season. One of the things that's kind of unfortunate for Jimmy Garoppolo, he spends the first 15, 16, like the first 4 years or so, 4 years and change, yeah, like 4 years of his career is like a backup, kind of like watching. And then he gets the start and he tears his ACL and misses the season. So it's like the first 5 seasons of his career, and you know how short careers can be in the NFL. Didn't really get to do a whole lot of playing, so it's kind of too bad. He looks like he had some talent. Although this preseason, he threw like 5 picks in a row. Like I can't watch every single game. Like I heard he threw like, I don't know if it was like a practice or a walkthrough, or it might have been I don't think it was a preseason game, but I read on it popped up on my phone like a couple weeks ago. He threw 5 picks in a row. So we'll kind of see how he is post ACL. A lot of guys aren't the same when they come back. Some guys are. You know, it's kind of one of those things. We'll have to watch and see how it plays out. But you know, because of the Browns and because of Oakland, because of Pittsburgh, and because of like all the drama this offseason, you know, Le'Veon Bell goes to the Jets. Antonio Brown, goes to Oakland. We're going to get to that in a minute. What a mess that is. He goes there. You got Michael Bennett goes to New England. You got, the Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and all the anticipation, the hype, everything that's building there. You got Andrew Luck, like all this stuff that's been going on, all these trades, that are there that I'm, forgetting about, head coaching hires and fires and so on and so forth. You kind of forget about the San Francisco 49ers, who sucked the last few years, and then all of a sudden they get Jimmy. Things were looking up. He tears his ACL, and then last season turned into a lost season. But I think there's a lot of pressure there on them to really be good this year, because it's like about time for Jimmy to kind of put up or shut up here. So we'll see how it goes. San Francisco's the team I'd watch out for, just because nobody's talking about San Francisco. Part of the reason is outside of the quarterback and the coach, outside of Kyle Shanahan, the coach, Jimmy Garoppolo, the quarterback, there's not a whole lot going on with that team in terms of talent at other positions. I think, relative to, other teams in the NFC, other teams around the league, so what are you going to do? But I'd pay attention to them. Heck of a lot better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I got them beating the Buccaneers. However, we'll, be interesting to see what happens. Next game up, Sunday Night Football, and this is the game of the week. How could it not be the game of... I guess... it could have been the Bears and the Packers, but, for the sentimentality of the 100th anniversary of the NFL. But is that really the most exciting game this week? No, it's not. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers in the New England Patriots, okay? That's the most interesting game this week, okay? It's not the friggin', Jets and the Bills, all right? That's not, nobody's getting all excited. No one's, having a cookout for Jets and Bills. It's not how it's the Steelers and it's the Patriots. That's the game. So I'm sick of waiting. We're talking about Antonio Brown now. Antonio Brown, remember when I was talking about earlier about these diva outside wide receivers that are complete head cases? Exhibit A, Antonio Brown. First of all, you can't pay, and I know that, it's sort of a divisive issue about, there was that one owner who talked about the inmates in the asylum and the players, or the inmates running the prison, and the referring to the players that way, which is obviously not doesn't sound very nice, to put it mildly. Probably shouldn't say that. But at the same time, this is what happens when you get these diva head case players. You give them all this guaranteed money. Of course they're going to go nuts and lose their mind. So Antonio Brown just today, and it's a good thing I did this video today because now we know this. He hasn't been shown in practice. He's been totally out of control. They find him. He goes in. He almost gets in a fight with the GM. They're going to suspend him. The league could suspend him for his altercation. This guy's totally good. This guy is okay. Antonio Brown is now officially up there with the likes of what's his name? The quarterback there. Quarterback, not Jimmy, Johnny. What's his name there? Johnny. Screw it, we're looking this up. Johnny. Oh God, I can't remember. See, that's what happens is you forget with these players. Johnny. Yeah, Johnny Mahomes. That's what I was about to say. Johnny Manziel. Okay, well, that's why. He kind of looks like Mahomes, though. Johnny freaking Manziel. What a mess. It's he's up there with, Johnny Manziel, OBJ, Josh Gordon, except that was more about the drugs. But just these players that just unreliable play. They just can't get on just zero. Just completely good amount of talent, but have nothing in the nothing between the ears. Elevator's not going to the top floor. Antonio Brown, am I surprised that this happened? Absolutely not. It was a matter of time until that. It wasn't if, it was when. So he's going to probably get suspended. Going to lose a lot of money. I don't think he should play again. Do you really want that on your team? Seriously. And this is one of the things that differentiates the NBA from the NFL. The NBA, the players run the team, which is kind of it's kind of why I don't watch the NBA, because it's not compelling content at all. It's really not. It's all about It's all about the players and the players' drama. It's not about the game. You know, you got the players. You know, they make their own teams. They stack their own teams, and it sucks. The NFL, on the other hand, I like because you know they run a tight ship. You know, they don't put up with any of that. It's, you know, put up or shut up, play or go home. I like that. You know, we're coming for the football. We're not coming for the drama. So I kind of like the fact that like the players. I kind of like how the players are like frustrated that they keep trying to do like these like NBA-ish, diva-ish things, but it just doesn't work. So Antonio Brown, you know, see you later. Probably might be the end of Antonio Brown. So kind of sad. Guy had talent. Anyways, to be honest with you, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are better without Antonio Brown. And I think they're better off without Le'Veon Bell, because Le'Veon Bell, you got to remember, couldn't stay on the field. You know, he had the groin injuries, all these injuries, couldn't stay out there. And then you got to remember, I remember they got better once they went to like other running backs. I think they improved because they weren't just, you know, dependent on him for everything. Honestly, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are better without those two guys, because I think Juju Smith-Schuster, tremendous receiver. Guy runs like friggin' Tyreek Hill. You know, he's taller, longer arm. He's a great receiver. I want to know, do they have like a factory in Pittsburgh where they just keep like stamping out wide receivers? Like the Pittsburgh Steelers have had wide receivers for as long as I can remember. Going back to like, just forever. Going back to like NFL films, like leather helmet stuff. They've had going back to like Terry Bradshaw. And like they've just always had receivers on the team. It's unbelievable how they can find all these receivers. I think they're better because I think they're leaner. They're more focused. They don't have like this nut job in the locker room on Facebook Live. Like they kind of got rid of all that, and they can just kind of focus on what matters. And I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that's underachieved over the last 15 years. Like they should have won 4 championships with the talent that they've had off and on that team in the last few years. And they didn't do it because, you know why? Because first of all, Mike Tomlin, I don't think is a very good coach. He's a great players coach. Players like him, they respect him, they play hard for him. But as a tactician, like I guarantee you, I don't guarantee it because you're might be surprised by my pick. The reason why they've lost to the Patriots all the time, except last season, because the Patriots were not ready to go in that game, and the Steelers tried to choke the game away. You know, 6 ways from Sunday. Pardon the pun. You know, the reason is because Mike Tomlin, he doesn't. There's no scheme. He just goes and does the same thing. There's no like surprises, no wrinkles, nothing. You know, so I think, you know, that, and then combined with the fact they've had these diva players, they just haven't been able to live up to their potential. New England, on the other hand, it looks like they're set to continue the shutdown defense that they put together last season. The offense, on the other hand, there's some question marks about what's going to happen at receiver. You get Josh Gordon, Demaryius Thomas. You know, some of these guys, it kind of happens, you know, every season. The last few seasons with them, you know, there's kind of like this trial and error period where they have to kind of figure out what their offense is going to be. It seems like, you know, their defense is going to be really stellar, but the offense, you know, their running game is really good. They've got a crap ton of running backs on that team. They're all really good. But their passing game, which is really the hallmark of New England, you know, seems like it's kind of questionable. I mean, they're going to get together like they did last season, but it just kind of seems like there's some question marks there about how they're going to get that going with all these new guys on the team. I actually have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this game in New England on opening night, and this is why. Like I said, I think losing Brown and Bell kind of got a lot of the, you know, it brought down the temperature in the room. Like, it's going to allow the team to be focused, get rid of the drama, and just focus on playing up to their potential, which is something this team can definitely do. I think New England, they're rusty. And the other thing, too, the Pittsburgh Steelers never game plan well against the Patriots. They're never ready to go against the Patriots. They go out there, they do the same stupid zone defense, and Brady picks them apart. And in the media, people have been blasting Mike Tomlin and his track record against New England and all these shortcomings. I feel like, and he's had, I mean, the schedule came in April. He's had since April to get ready for this game. You know, I just feel like he's there, you know, now they're ready to go. They're refreshed. I think the Steelers, I think the Steelers are going to come in and they're going to, you know, show you that they're turning the page here. I think they're going to beat New England. Next, we have Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints. In New Orleans, give me these Saints. Although the Texans, they could have a good season here. You know, high on the Texans. That was a Monday night game because it seems like for some reason the first few weeks of the season there's 2 Monday night games. I don't know why. One at 7:10, one at 10:20. Next game up, Denver Broncos, Oakland Raiders. This one's at 10:20 in Oakland. Give me the Oakland freaking Raiders winning this game. We already talked about Antonio Brown. I think they got what they paid for it. The more you pay these guys, the more you're gonna have a problem. So you know, but I think they can be good without him. But we'll see. All right, guys, that's going to do for this week's picks. Hope you enjoyed this video. Welcome to the 2019 NFL season. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for those of you who reached out and reminded me to do this. And we will be back with week 2. So other than that, until next time, that'll do for this one, guys. Thanks for watching.